Okay, everyone. Randy Small, Whatcom County weather here, going live here tonight. I'm going to quick drop this link in the Facebook post that I put up. So let me do that before I get started. That way, we will hopefully get some followers to follow along, and hopefully everybody will be able to hear me. We'll test that in just a little bit, but just kind of catching up here and going to do this live now because I have a football game to take pictures at tonight in the beautiful weather that we are having. So hang on one second, but looking forward to doing a YouTube here live stream about what's currently going on and how things are going to look for the next couple of days. And I do think we're going to have continued stormy, rainy, kind of fall weather coming at us. So let me just kind of see how things line up here as I let this... I'm still continuing to learn the YouTube and the live stream and all of that. So we'll see who joins, and let me just kind of follow along here. Jennifer's also going to help us out along the way here, just to kind of moderate eventually, and because it's kind of a lot to do. I'm learning as I'm doing these live streams on YouTube. It's just kind of an added layer, but because Facebook has been kind of playing around with things, it's kind of the easier way to go. So we're kind of building the page now before we get into the snowy season and whatever other storms we have. So got a few people watching here, and hopefully you can see me okay. Can you hear me okay? I'm gonna check this quick message from Jennifer.
I've got to run out to the kitchen and put sauce on our chop.
Okay, so she will be joining us here in just a minute, but I'm assuming you can hear me. So real quick here, it's obviously raining out, and we can pull that radar up here. So it has been raining for quite a while, the last few hours here. Let me switch the radar to the Aldergrove one. So it has kind of lightened up here some at the moment compared to what it was earlier. More, I wouldn't call it showery, but the first heavy part has come through, and you can kind of see that here as I put this into motion. And yeah, here's Whatcom County. So that's kind of where we're standing. A little bit less here in the next little while, and then expecting it to continue into tomorrow. But this is the first wave, I guess I would say. And we can check the coastal radar, and you can kind of see it's kind of sagged south some, and it's now kind of really going after the South Sound. And we're looking at precip totals here. I'm going to pull these up in just a second, but I'm going to show you the south wind has begun, and the Bellingham Airport's gusting at 33, Ferndale's in the 20s. Not really a switch over yet out in North County, but that's coming because as soon as you see the Pole Road Guide one switch, and I already could see this coming because Sumas Mountain was gusting earlier a couple hours ago south, and you could see that once that's 3,000 feet up, and then it was heading toward the surface. So okay, Jennifer's here, and the sound is good. So I'm watching comments on one computer and running on a different one. So, but you can kind of see the south wind here along the water, and then down into a little bit of a westerly here through the foothills on I-5. And temps mostly, although with the switch, have gone to almost mid-50s here at the airport, but, upper 40s, low 50s. So let's quick look at precip. For what we've seen so far. I'll just put it to 24 hour. So the numbers are looking pretty good to start with. This station out in Sumas, I am not sure which station, who runs this station. I can zoom in on it. It's, I'm not sure who has it. Kind of off a May Road. It's really close to the border, but it's almost like it's under a tree because they always get a lot more rain than anybody else around them, it seems like. So I always find that fascinating. I don't know why the Abbotsford Airport is not showing up on here, but let me zoom out. Maybe it will. But you can see that it's by far the highest rain totals in the whole county. 0.94. But anyway, we've got 3/4 of an inch already out here at Birch Bay Village. Blaine, across the border, half an inch. Ferndale, wow, this one's 87. That might be Jennifer's parents' station, but it's closing in on 0.90. So maybe the Sumas one isn't too far off. This one's almost got an inch here on Enterprise Road here, kind of by the Hartsville Curves. And then, yeah, Ferndale 0.6. The airport coming in at 0.27, so the rain has kind of mainly gone over here. I mean, the heaviest amounts. The airport coming in at 0.27. If they get to 0.71, they will, by the end of Halloween night here, they will tie the average for the month of October. So they need to get to 0.71. I'm not sure. We'll see if that happens. 0.35 kind of in the Northwest Avenue area, 0.46 out in Everson. Some of these low totals, I usually just discard them, as obviously 0.01 up here in north, up here on the Semiahmoo spit is off when you see everything else is a lot bit more. I'm going to turn on a couple more stations, but we've got a little over a quarter an inch heading towards a third up in the Deming area, and 0.41 up towards Maple Falls, and 0.37, 0.26 Lake Whatcom, Sudden Valley area here. So, but the south end of Lake Whatcom and then Sun Valley area. That's what we have so far. That would not include, may not include the 5 o'clock hour. Let me see something. No, it doesn't. So let me add, actually, let me fix that. But that does not include the 5. That stopped at 4:37, and we're an hour later. So it looks like they've got a little bit more on 25. 0.29, 0.30. Looks like they got 0.31 or 2 at the airport. So because it isn't including this last hour. So, and we could set that up, but I think that's good enough. Again, the Bellingham Airport needs, I think it's 3.85 is the average, if you see that number down there. And so, okay, I see those comments. I'll check those precept comments in a minute. But 3.85, or 3.85, and I think we needed 0.71, and so we've almost got a half of that at the airport. So we'll see. It may happen. Although it looks like the rain is lightening up here, at least on this radar shot. Come on, radar. It's still loading, but it's kind of lightening up. That doesn't mean it's quitting totally. I'm not saying that. But you can see some of the heavy rain has been pushed through. That might be good for the trick-or-treaters tonight. At least, maybe not quite as heavy rain. There might be a break here, or at least less, if you can see that on the radar. So I titled it Trick or Treat, and maybe it will be a treat yet, and not just a trick. But it definitely seems to be at least a lessening for a little while here. And the heavy rain has at least pushed through, and some areas are already registering close to an inch. So before I go further here, let me just say thank you to everyone who's following and watching and subscribing. Just kind of throw this out as my advertisement, but the more people you tell about the YouTube channel, the more people that watch it, even if you don't watch it, let it run. Mute it and let it run. I know that sounds kind of crazy, but the more hours we get, the more traction this page will get. We're already growing rapidly. I think I had just a few subscribers a couple days ago, and we're already at like 167. So I told my wife that it would be nice to have 1,000 by the time our first storm came. So we're closing in. We might have 200 here soon. But anyway, appreciate that. This page has been amazing. And just grateful for the community that we have going here. Let me go back to just going over where we are, what we're standing with advisories. We have a wind advisory still, and we saw the southerlies picking up there in Bellingham and Ferndale, but through 10 o'clock tonight up to 45 or so. I don't know if we'll hit 45, but when the front kind of comes through, that will be probably the strongest. And then they put a flood watch on as well for Sunday or Saturday night into Sunday night, Saturday morning until Sunday morning is what it would be. So it's basically tomorrow. Again, I'm not seeing that there's going to be any major issues looking at the flood gauge forecast. I'm just going to pull up North, Cedarville here, or whatever. I think it's called North Cedarville. At this moment, the forecast part isn't even in the action stage. This is observed part, and this is the forecast part, the purple. and it's not there now. It could, if we get more rain than what they think's been forecasted, and there's kind of been hints that maybe it's a little bit more rain in this system than what they thought, or what models kind of trending up, I suppose, but it's not like a lot. And so I would, maybe this gets into action stage, not seeing any major flooding, at least in the river side. There might be some low-lying issues. There might be some storm drains that are plugged, maybe a little bit of urban street, you're going to go through a big puddle, that kind of thing. When you're driving down I-5, there might be a place where you hit, ponding. That happened to me last week when I was going down to Stanwood area, and I was just dumping rain, and had a couple of those instances. So you just got to be careful with that. But not seeing anything major. The river's going to rise. I don't think there's any doubt about that. I'm just not sure that, it's going to be anything much more than an action, but we'll see, and we'll keep an eye on it. So just kind of want to update. We're looking at Cedarville. We could look upstream more, but this is the key one at this moment. So we got a wind advisory through 10 p.m. tonight. We got this flood watch. That does not mean flooding is imminent. Then that's a flood warning. This is just saying they're seeing that there's a rain coming. The snow levels are 9,000 feet. And so we got to watch this. There's not a lot of snow to melt, though, to be honest. I mean, there is some. I don't have the amount of snow yet. It hasn't been recorded, as far as I know, at the ski area, and they haven't turned on their snowboard yet. But it's about 36 degrees at the ski area. It's 33 at Pan Dome, but basically the same height as Artist Point. So that just went above freezing. The temperatures are kind of waffling, though, here. So they were 40s earlier this morning, so they've kind of come down, actually. So that's probably a good thing. They got 0.69 of inch since the rain started about 11 o'clock today, or 10 o'clock today, up at the ski area. So that's good, because we aren't crazy, but they can see 3 to 5 inches up there in the mountains. So you can see the satellite view. I had it in motion. Let me put it back in motion here. And it's going nighttime, so that's why you see that right there. And this is probably a little behind. I probably could refresh it, but you can kind of see the clouds, the system here, right here, streaming in. But and you see kind of right on that heels, this is going to continue into tomorrow, and then Sunday will turn showery. So and you can see that also on an accumulation map. Let me just pull up the Euro accumulation map from the 18Z, which is run at 11 o'clock this morning. And there's 23, 24. Okay, so that's 5 o'clock. So that's right about now. At 6 o'clock, you see at 7 o'clock, a little bit of a lull here. Maybe the trick-or-treaters, won't be too bad here. And then it picks back up later on tonight. And here it comes more. And that's 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. And the Euro has an inch from 11 o'clock till 7 o'clock tomorrow, or 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, and it goes over that inch. So maybe there is going to be a little break for the trick-or-treating tonight. Again, not the heavy rain, and not even really a moderate rain. It going back to that radar, it's dark now. This is lessening. And actually, places like Skagit, look at this, there's not much at all. And even down here, it's kind of sagged south. So, I mean, I'm not calling it a dry night by any stretch, but actually it may not turn out to be that bad. So, before I forget, maybe Jennifer, if you could summarize this live in a few sentences on edit, because those who can't watch it, we don't want to turn them off either, and not make it unfair for them. So maybe I'll have time, because I got to leave here pretty soon. But honestly, this may not turn out too bad. The rain might have come in just hour or two earlier. So we'll see. It's not that more couldn't start up, but again, that yellow is pushed off and is going to be pretty much out of here, and that leaves this showery nature stuff. But again, not saying it won't rain. So looking ahead, so Saturday, I'm kind of looking at Saturday. May not be the worst by the end of the day, but I think in the morning hours, fairly wet. That's kind of what I'm seeing here. I can look at the high wrap, the HRR, which is a high res model. Let me pull up the 18Z, because it runs out further here. So This is beginning. That's midnight right there. It's got about 0.43. So after midnight, it really rains. So that must be that second band that you see on this that we saw on the satellite. So the her is most of that rain tomorrow is falling in the morning, and actually might not be the worst in the afternoon tomorrow. Sunday will be showery. May not be a bad day. So just looking at that, I know that's only one model, but that weather model, but I think that's probably a fair way of saying, and we can check with the National Weather Services. Yeah, of course they're calling for 90% rain, but see, they're turning it to shower Saturday night. Now they say Sunday rain likely, but Saturday night, let me look at this. Basically less than a tenth of an inch. And mention them. They make a mention of thunderstorms. We'll have to look into that, but. You can see they're lessening. There's not much there. And then Sunday, they're even saying partly sunny. See, I said this earlier, and less than a tenth of an inch. So even though there's a 60% chance of rain likely, when you dig deep into the details, you find out Sunday's probably not that bad of a day. Might even see the sun. So, and don't forget to fall back as well. Our dreaded fall back. Hi, Keith. The winds are picking up. So they were gusting in the 30s here at the airport. Let me pull up the station plot back here. And they're, about 28 at the airport. I think the highest gust has been a 39. So we had a max gust of 39. I don't know what time that was. I'd have to look that up. So the winds kind of along the water have picked up, and they're turning southerly here more inland. And then eventually this whole area will. I don't think the wind's going to be crazy, and I don't think the wind tomorrow for Whatcom County is good. There is a wind advisory. Let me clarify something. There is a wind advisory tomorrow, but it is not for us. It is for Skagit South, and I know it's showing us here on this gray map, on this map, but our wind advisory ends at 10. Tomorrow we are not under the wind advisory. Just clarify that, because it appears like this little low that's a lot of the other weather Facebook pages and other YouTube channels have talked about is going to kind of cross over us. And when you have a low crossing over the Olympic Peninsula, Vancouver Island, if it goes north of us, we get hit with really strong winds on the south side of it. But when it goes over top or a little bit to our south, we're on the north side of it, and that means the winds won't be as strong. Now, if that were to adjust just a little bit, we would have to, be like, oh, and we'd have to deal with that. But as of now, and you can actually see that. Let me show you here real quick, and then I want to do a couple other things, and then I'll look at questions if there's anything else. But let's see if we can see this, and I'm going to show you. I know you may not know what this all is, but here, and this is not showing it the greatest. Let me take a look at the euro and see if it will show it a little better. And I didn't look at this ahead of time, and I should have. But it was the euro. Okay, here it is. Here's this little low. And see how it dives south of us? Did you see that? Okay, so here is 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. There is 6 o'clock. So it's diving, and there it's actually strengthening a little bit. It's lowering its number, and it's kind of hanging around. Still is. And then it goes, see how it goes south of us? So we're on the north side. Hopefully that makes sense. And so let me pull up the Euro winds, and I'll show you, again, I haven't looked at this, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to be right on this. So if I pull up a wind gust map here, okay, so here's a wind gust, and I wouldn't take this as the final thing, but this is going to show you. Here's 6 o'clock tomorrow morning, and see the greens are picking up, the oranges, but see how we are up here? Okay, it does gust to 40, but everything's in the green is south of Whatcom, and then it just goes away. And I'm sure the HER is going to show something similar if we look at their map. Oops, I don't want the knots. So let me go back here, and you can see the wind picking up kind of along the coast and in the mountains here in the Olympics. But see how we are sheltered by this because the low is diving south of us, or going south of us. I don't know how else to say it. Now the her often overdoes these winds. Okay, here we are going into well, let me put it back to the 18Z. Sorry, here we are going into Saturday. See, the her is stronger with these winds. This is way out in the ocean, but see as it's coming in, and see those winds. But Whatcom is maybe east out in the mountains. But see how it stays in the blue, and so and then it looks like there's a surge maybe coming down the strait toward the islands tomorrow late morning, early afternoon. But that's why we're not included in that. So tomorrow I'm not expecting a big wind day at this point. It may be breezy, but I'm not expecting. There could be some power outages. Maybe not. Hopefully not as many as last week down south. But just to keep an eye on that. And if you live down that way or you happen to be down that way, just keep that in mind. And you have a wind advisory in a lot of places south of us. And again, you can check the National Weather Service Seattle homepage, current hazards, and you can see all of this gray or whatever color that is has a wind advisory. We do, but it's for tonight. And it ends tonight. A total amount of rain is going to be between 1 and 2 inches is kind of by the time, Sunday morning rolls around. That's kind of what we've been saying. And some places are already closing in on an inch. Excuse me. I don't know that I have too much else to say. I'm just updating you. We'll talk about next week coming up, but I will say this: we need to keep an eye on the storm train. I got to pull up the 12Z Euro here, and here's our atmospheric river or whatever rain system. I'm kind of tired of fighting about what it's called. The rain, precipitation, maybe upper elevation at Mount Baker, like above 7,000 feet might be snow, but. It's our first system here as we go into Sunday. We get maybe a hair of a break on Sunday right there. And then here comes another system. I'm not sure how much that will affect us on Monday. But then we got this big deepening low out here. And that's going to swing a front in right here. And here comes another one. This is like Tuesday, Wednesday. And then, Thursday, Friday swings another front. And here comes another one. Train. I don't know what else to say. Now, the Euro wants to develop a little bit of a ridge. I don't think it's going to last long. And this is going way too far out. But here's more storm, rain. And so when you look at the Euro, you start seeing a whole lot of precipitation for some of the runs. And, when you run this thing out to the end, you start seeing 8 inches at the or 7.5 inches and 16, 18 inches up in the mountains. Who knows if that'll happen? This is 2 weeks out, total accumulation. But it's something we need to keep an eye on because this is how flooding happens. So I'm not saying there's flooding. So please don't misunderstand me. Yeah, Keith, that's correct. A lot of lows are showing up next week. So just understand that. Oh, that's awesome. Okay. Let me run on the background. It might put your kids to sleep. Who knows? Especially after they've eaten all that candy. But, we'll just keep an eye. The GFS, interestingly enough, I think was kind of a similar. Let me look at that real quick. Yeah, it's not in the 18Z. Let me look at the 12Z. So GFS is a little less wet. I'm looking at ensembles right now. So ensembles, I'll explain that one of these days again to everyone on this live. But I think I'm going to call it for tonight. By the way, temps, just quickly looking, 50s, a little bit lower as we head toward the weekend as the snow levels will come down some. Wednesday looks to be, I'm not sure what's up with the 58. We'll have to take a look at that at the airport. What would be the reason behind that. But we'll catch up with you more later. We'll keep updating the page. So yeah, everybody, I'm seeing the comments. Thank you. Again, subscribe, like, watch. Those are my 3 keywords for YouTube. And the more you like, the thumbs up, the better it is. And we're going to keep feeding you the information. And let me just tell you, we are not we'll do a little bit of Skagit, we'll do a little bit of South BC. If there's a big storm, that is like regional wide, we're going to cover Whatcom County first. We're going to be here. This is our primary area. This is what I've developed. This is what I want. So I don't take off chasing to the coast. Not only do I not have a lot of extra time to do that, I want to be here if anything happens here to cover it here. So Whatcom County is my home place for all my life, basically. was born in Bellingham at St. Joe's, and so kids born there. My mom was born in this area, etc. So we're going to continue that. One other thing, we'll put up a link again for the donation. But I just wanted to mention that. Thank you to those who've given. We're probably already over $1,000. That link is at the top of the page on the pinned. But if you find the picture of the barn, you can just click on the link there. And there's a Venmo and PayPal. Thank you to those who have supported us. That keeps us going. Basically allowed me to stop working my second job. I used to work a second job. Now I think I work about 4 jobs, but 2 of them are photography and weather, and that's a lot of fun. So all of them are fun. But so if you can, I've got myself some of my own shirts. But the Whatcom County Weather logo, I've bought the rights to it. I had somebody make it and then just gave them some money so I could start using it. And then I made these own shirts for myself. I'm not necessarily selling these, but I still have some leftover gear. And thinking about putting the old gear that we had from a couple years ago on sale so we can make up some new stuff. That's kind of my thought. We have ear flap hats. That can all be found at randysmall.com. And I'm hoping to put some of those on clearance pricing soon. Because I have this newer logo that's got Whatcom County Weather on it, but we do have some of the old gear still. I won't be putting the ear flap hats. They sell too good on clearance, but probably the leftover hoodies. We have some left, these hats, and then develop some new stuff along the way. And then if you want to support our business and my business personally, it's randysmall.com, and we've got our calendars. And that's a good way to support. And if you do give $20 or more donation, honestly, if you gave any donation, I'd give you a calendar if you really wanted one. But in exchange, I'll give you a calendar if you want one for every $20. Or you could just purchase the calendars for $18. And 20 and 18 if you buy more than 4. So thank you so much, everyone. Have a great night. I'm off to go play in the rain and take pictures. On anything, message me. I'll help you out. I have an office here in Linden. We'll have an open house a week from Saturday at Vandergeesen Nursery. I'll be announcing that, and we'll have some of this stuff there and all my photography, puzzles, kids' puzzles. I'll have to show you those eventually on one of these live streams when I figure out how to share that off my phone. So, okay, have a great night. Thank you, everyone, and we'll call it for this night. Don't eat too much candy.